Hey guys, Jim here with another video for you. This is the newest installment of my 5 underrated forgotten movies you need to see. But before we begin, if you'd be so kind, please hit that like button, possibly subscribe, and most important of all, leave comments. Let me know how you feel about these movies. If you like these movies, if you don't like these movies, if you have any questions about these movies, I'll be happy to discuss it with you in the comments. So we're going to go in the normal way that we usually do in alphabetical order. These are all from assorted genres. Most of these are from the 80s. A couple of them are a little bit newer than that, but we're going to start with the first one, Bad Boys from 1983, starring Sean Penn, Rainey Santoni, Isai Morales, Ali Sheedy, and in his big screen debut, Clancy Brown. This is a fantastic crime drama from, like I said earlier, 1983. This was right after Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and people at that point basically knew Sean Penn as Spicoli. And the character he plays in this movie is not Spicoli. This is a very hard watch in spots. It's kind of a prison drama, but it's with delinquents, juvies, I guess you'd call them, juveniles. This is a fantastic, fantastic movie. It's been criminally forgotten through the years, especially since the Will Smith, Martin Lawrence movies came out. But I can't stress enough how great this movie is. Please, if you've never seen Bad Boys, look it up, check it out. It's a great movie. Next, we have a horror comedy for you. This is Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Take off the slipcover here. That is the original theatrical. This got a very limited release when it came out. But as I said earlier, this is a horror comedy. I'm going to pause there so you can check out the synopsis. This is a really fun movie. It starts off like a documentary, like a found footage movie almost. You're following a film crew, following this guy who's planning on being the next serial killers, super serial killer, because in this universe, Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers and them, they're real people. And they follow this guy while he does all the preparations for his masterpiece, as he puts it. Anybody who's seen slasher movies will love this movie because it plays with it so well. It's actually much funnier than Scream as far as like the rules of a horror movie go. It's got a great cast. I never saw the main guy before. He's phenomenal. He's really good in this part. Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger himself shows up. Scott Wilson from The Walking Dead is in this. Zelda Rubinstein, who was the Ghost Whisperer in the original Poltergeist, she's in this. This movie's a lot of fun. So if you've never seen Behind the Mask, please check it out. Next, this is a cheese fest, but my God, is it entertaining. Steven Sommers directed Deep Rising, starring Treat Williams, Famke Janssen, and a killer's row of character actors. This is a Kino release, and this is basically a kaiju movie, for lack of a better word. Monster movie out in the middle of the ocean, 1998. So yeah, this movie's well over 25 years old now. My God, is this movie fun. Some of the effects aren't that great anymore, the early CG. But lots of blood, lots of guts. And again, I can't stress enough how fun this movie is with the cast. You can tell they're all having a ball. And you will too when you watch this movie. It is so much fun. Again, it's not going to win any awards, but it's a blast. Next, we have a Vietnam film from the 80s for you, Hamburger Hill, starring Dylan McDermott, Don Cheadle, Steven Weber, a host of others. This is a great movie, but it's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle through the years. People always talk about, Platoon and The Deer Hunter and Apocalypse Now, and this movie, it's not as good as those other movies. Those movies are all masterpieces, but this movie is a solid Vietnam thriller. It's based on a true event. It kind of reminds me of We Were Warriors, the Mel Gibson movie that came out in the early 2000s. But Hamburger Hill is just a phenomenal movie. Again, great ensemble cast. Check it out. And last and certainly not least on this list, 1985, Lawrence Kasdan, written and directed masterpiece, Silverado. This is without a doubt one of my favorite Westerns of all time. It came out the same year as Pale Rider. Neither of those movies were very successful at the time, although I really enjoy Pale Rider as well. But this movie is phenomenal. And it's got one of the best casts ever. I mean, look at that cast. And that's just part of the cast. It's just an incredible movie. This was really Kevin Costner's first big break. He had popped up in a couple of things before this, but this was like his first substantial role, and he kills it. You've never seen Kevin Costner in a role like this. He's basically the comic relief. He's a goofball. Kevin Kline is great as always. Danny Glover's awesome, and Scott Glenn is phenomenal in this movie. Again, I cannot stress enough how much I enjoy this movie. This movie is out of print now on Blu-ray as far as I know, but it is readily available on DVD and streaming, and you could probably find this on Blu-ray as well. I did find it on eBay recently for under $10. I was shocked, but again, I cannot stress enough how wonderful this movie is. So that'll do it for this edition, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed these movies, and if you haven't seen them, I really hope that you do seek them out. And if you do, please let me know how you feel about them. So until the next time, guys, have a great night.